You know, when you think of Quebec, you might just think of it as another part of Canada. But let me tell you, its geography tells a much, much stranger story. This is a land of ancient cosmic scars, incredible natural power, and a culture so distinct, it has literally carved its signature onto the face of the earth.
Okay, so just to wrap your head around the scale we're talking about, let's start with this simple fact. The province of Quebec is 3 times the size of France. Yeah, 3. It's this vast, sprawling territory. But as we're about to see, its geography has a funny way of forcing life into very specific, very important pockets.
And floating in all that vastness is this. Seen from space, it looks like a giant, almost eerie eye staring right back at you. This is the Manicouga Reservoir, and its perfectly circular shape? Well, that's not natural. It's a massive clue to an origin story of incredible cosmic violence. To really understand Quebec today, we have to start by going way, way back. I'm talking deep time. We need to look at the ancient geology that forms the literal bedrock of everything else, from its economy all the way to its unique culture. So that Eye of Quebec, it's actually a 214-million-year-old impact crater. A 5-kilometer wide asteroid slammed into the Earth right here, leaving this 100-kilometer scar. But here's the really incredible part. This ancient, violent event has been completely harnessed. Today, it's a dammed reservoir, and it's a critical source of modern hydroelectric power. An ancient disaster is now lighting up cities. And the ancient history? Oh, it doesn't stop there. Just north of Montreal, you have the Laurentian Mountains, which are some of the oldest on the entire planet. To put that into perspective, they're about 20 times older than the Himalayas. When the Rocky Mountains were just starting to be born, the Laurentians were already ancient relics. It's just mind-boggling.
A billion years ago, geologists believed these mountains were as tall and jagged as the Himalayas are right now. But a billion years is a long, long time. And all that time, wind, water, and massive glaciers have been grinding them down, transforming them into the gentle, rolling peaks you see today. And that very geology makes them one of North America's absolute best ski destinations.
So all that ancient geology, scarred and then reshaped by glaciers, created Quebec's single most important feature. It's water. And the province isn't just rich in water. No. It's a global hydro superpower.
Get this. Quebec holds 3% of the entire world's renewable freshwater reserves. Just let that sink in for a second. One single province holds 3% of all the usable freshwater on the planet.
Now, this crazy abundance of water is a direct legacy of the last ice age. As this massive sheet of ice, the Laurentide ice sheet, retreated, it just scraped and gouged the landscape, leaving behind millions of depressions that then filled with meltwater. This created a territory where water is almost as common as land, and it defines absolutely everything from the economy to the culture.
Of all that water, one river matters most, the St. Lawrence. And one specific feature of that river didn't just give a city its location, it gave the entire province its name and basically shaped the history of a whole continent.
You see, the name Quebec isn't just some random name. It's a geographic description. It comes from the Algonquin word Quebec, which literally means where the river narrows. It's a map marker baked right into the name.
This narrowing, right near modern-day Quebec City, created the perfect strategic choke point. I mean, look at it. The high cliffs gave a massive defensive advantage, and just a few cannons up there could control every single ship trying to head into the heart of North America. It was a total game changer. Samuel de Champlain saw this back in 1608 and knew instantly, this was the spot. This is where you build your fortress.
Okay, so the geography shaped where people settled, right? But then the people began to shape the geography. And the way they did it was so distinct, so unique, that you can still see the lines from space centuries later. So this shows 2 totally competing ways of seeing the land. The British, they used a simple square grid. But the French, they had a problem to solve. How do you give every single farmer access to the river? The river was the only highway for transport and commerce. Their solution was ingenious, the seigneurial system. They divided the land into these long, thin strips, all of them running down to the water.
And the result is, well, it's stunning. If you look at a satellite image of the St. Lawrence Valley today, you can still see that 17th century decision etched right onto the landscape. It creates this unmistakable barcode pattern, a permanent physical record of a culture's relationship with its river.
This unique relationship with the land extends to its agriculture, and it gets pretty sweet.
Turns out, Quebec's climate is in the perfect Goldilocks zone for sugar maples. This allows it to produce a staggering 72% of the world's maple syrup. They are basically the OPEC of syrup, and I'm not kidding. They even have a massive strategic reserve to control global prices.
And remember all that water we talked about? Well, it's been harnessed to turn Quebec into a green battery for North America. They produce so much clean hydroelectricity, way more than they need, that they export huge amounts of it to the northeastern United States, powering cities like New York.
So, you take the ancient rocks, you add the powerful rivers, you throw in these unique patterns of settlement, and what do you get? All of this culminates in the single most defining feature of Quebec's human geography, its status as a cultural and linguistic island.
It all leads to this incredible fact. Surrounded by a sea of 350 million English speakers, Quebec remains overwhelmingly French-speaking. It's this unique cultural ecosystem that has managed to survive for over 400 years, and it's something they fiercely protect, often by law.
And laws like Bill 101 don't just exist on paper. They physically alter the landscape. I mean it. The moment you cross the border into Quebec, the language on the road signs just changes. It's a deliberate, government-enforced shaping of the visual world around you, all to protect and preserve that 400-year-old cultural identity.
Which really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. From an ancient asteroid impact that now provides power to a narrow point in a river that birthed a nation, Quebec's story is written all over its land. And it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? How much of who we are is simply a reflection of where we are.